Alright, little girl, you ready?
Yeah.
Alright. We're like really late already. You okay? No. Oh no. Better? Pretty girl. Is that better? Yeah. How long till your brother climbs out of that thing? We have good news. The chipper is ready to roll. New tires, perfect. All right, he put a new belt on. I think he changed the oil, did a little service to it, get it cleaned up. We're gonna load it into the truck. We're gonna get back to work out on the land with it. Well, at least we got something done. One measurable thing that I can see for sure, they got these blocks. The guy came here and delivered the blocks, and they put that thing together so they've got the tank on it. The guy I get the blocks from is the same guy that does the backhoe work for us. And what he does is he loads all the blocks in the front of his backhoe and brings them up here. And he got stuck and just made this rut deeper. Kind of wish he had taken 5 minutes and pushed all this mud back in so we could have a good try and flatten this thing out. Instead, he just left it. That's kind of annoying. Now that is what we want to see. These tanks are not resistant to the sun, and if we leave them like this, it'll become brittle and break. So I'm gonna have to get some spray paint out here to spray this. But for now, look, we got a nice tank. Sits up high enough. It's going to give us good, better water pressure. This is one row of block higher than the other tank. And the next tank will put this high, maybe higher. Right? The more potential energy, as in the more gravity pulling on this, the better it is for pressure in the water lines. All right, we've got the pump in this section here that's filling this water. This is what we're going to use to water all this stuff over here. Now this has never been opened yet. We're going to pop this open and drain this tank 1 or 2 times to get the water in it, to flush this thing a little bit. This is not permanent. This is just a quick setup so I can get water from this to fill the watering cans. But it's not leaking. That's a good sign. What I'm doing is, while that tank is being rinsed, I'm taking the water that's draining out of it, putting water on all these moringas that are just big enough. It's getting a little dry and we want to make sure these moringas have enough to get going. This stuff isn't poisonous, so it's not damaging, but we don't want it to plug up the irrigation lines. That's what we're doing. I'm just running around and watering each of these moringas that I can find to give them a little boost. Now, the rest of the day, I'm going to focus on getting these trees we've got here in the ground. We've got a lot of trees to plant. All right, I'm going to work with one guy where you get the trees in the ground, while these 3 focus on finishing cleaning up this mess. There's a lot of chipping to be done. All right, while I focus my energy on getting trees in the ground, these guys are over here cleaning up the mess from before. The trees they had cut down, they took all the branches that could be chipped and stacked them in another spot. So now they're going to chip everything that can be chipped while they continue to burn out and kill off the stumps. Now I'm not sure exactly how many trees we're going to get in the ground, but I'm really focused on getting trees in the ground. We've got a few hours. We're going to try and get as many as possible in the ground. Recap, we have 3 30-foot pieces of string tied together with stakes at the end of each one. So we create an equilateral triangle, and every corner we plant a tree. Keeps them 30 feet apart. However, it's not perfect, and you're going to end up with a compounding error. And here's an example. Right here's the tree, a corner. Over here we've got a silky oak, and Right over there we have a mahogany, and clearly they're not quite 30 feet. They're probably a little less. So we have the compounding error here giving us an issue. So what do? Well, in my case, we don't do anything. These are 30 feet apart. We could plant them 15 feet apart. We then plant the slow growers in between. So if we're 20 feet apart, no big deal. Not a problem. We just plant it here, and then we may not put a teak or an ebony or something in the middle. We'll just, when we get to that point, we'll decide. But for now, we're just going to plant it. We're just dealing with the compounding error. If we have a 6-inch error for every single time we plant, eventually that 6 inches becomes 3, 6, 10 feet. Alright, we got a bunch of trees in the ground. And we got a few small little fires going around some trees that need to be burnt out. So hopefully, tomorrow we'll get back here and get more of these trees. We can get these trees done. I'm going to bring a bunch more tomorrow. As you see, we've got wood chip piles all over the place here. This makes it useful because we won't have to go too far to get mulch. But if you look, we got piles of wood chips all over the place. And all those wood chips are going to be put to use, mulching in the trees that we plant here. Alright guys, we're done for now. All we're going to do is water some of these trees that we just planted, get some water on them, and we're going to come back tomorrow and get the rest of these trees in the ground. We still have a lot of trees to plant. After we plant every one of these trees, we're going to be planting some moringa and pumpkin around them. The goal is the pumpkin will shade out the ground. The moringa will give us a leguminous crop that digs a root deep that is going to be useful as mulch and a lot of other things. Alright guys, anyway, I'm going to say goodnight. We're just going to water some of these trees in and get ourselves ready to go.